1, 2, 3, swag!
This is Santa Claus riding the bike, man. How more jolly can you get right there?
How more jolly can you get?
Yeah, boy, you know what I'm saying? They going to the corner store.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's B. Milton. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host here on the Redskins review. And you guys, that intro clip had me dying. I had to watch that 50 times in a row, man. How more jolly can you get? They're probably going to the corner store. But Shaw Breeland is the man, dude. I don't understand. I don't know why so many people dislike that dude. That guy is fucking awesome. He's one of my favorite Redskins for real, man. A couple years back when he started coming on and playing really good football, man, when we didn't really have too many other bright spots on our team, I fell in love with Shaw Breeland, and I still have defended him day in, day out. I think he's solid. He's above average when it comes to corners in this league, and I'm sure we're going to miss him when he's gone because I don't see us repaying him. So let's get into the highlights, and then I'll try to remember everything I want to talk about afterwards. So let me go over here and get this started, and then we will go through the highlights.
Third and 16 after the penalty. Cousins, well protected. That pass a little bit high and incomplete.
All right, so the first clip of the highlights. let's watch it again, dude. Let's watch it again.
Cousins, well protected. That pass a little bit high and incomplete.
I'm sorry, man, but that's just not what a first-round wide receiver does. It's just not what a first-round wide receiver does. I wish they would have showed the other angle of it like they did during the game. Sure. I mean, he's getting contested. The pass is being contested, but that's a catch that we need a first rounder to make. And if we have it in our heads that we're going to go into next season and Josh Doctson is going to be our number one wide receiver and we're expecting him to do number one wide receiver things after watching this, I don't know what we're thinking, man. I'm not saying Josh Doctson is worthless, but he just doesn't ring out as a number one wide receiver. We can't go into next season like we did into this season where we're going to say, hey, Josh Doctson's going to show up for us and we're just going to expect it. We can't. Through everything we've seen this year, we cannot expect it.
Off the hands of the intended receiver, Josh Doctson, at the quarterback position. Another terrific year for Thomas in an offense that has really struggled. That pass from Osweiler, right on cue to Thomas.
Far in this game, they're playing very well.
Here's Brandon McManus, who has had his struggles this year. He's been one of the better kickers the last couple of years, but 8 missed field goals. This time he is good. After the penalty, 3rd and 12. As they snap it just outside the 35. Cousins well protected, then feeling the pressure, and that pass is incomplete.
I don't really know why they even showed that clip.
Disappointments. And Eric Ebron making some things happen for that offense. Anderson bounces to the outside. C.J. Anderson starting to put together some terrific games down the stretch of the season. And into the Ryman Christmas spirit. Here's Cousins under pressure, feeling it coming from the backside. That pass is caught. Ryan Grant.
Man, Ryan Grant had a game, dude. He had a hell of a game, man.
Only their 3rd first down of the half as they look for their first points. Cousins, 3 of his first 10. He's completed his last 2. Slinging it. That pass is caught. It's Grant again.
Oh, my God, dude. Number one, did you see how Kirk Cousins slang that football? At the end of this season, I've seen Kirk Cousins sling the football like that with more power behind it, with more authority behind it than I've ever seen him throw the football, man. He is most definitely getting better over time. And Ryan Grant, I am sorry, but Ryan Grant just shits on a number one pick in the draft, wide receiver Josh Doctson. He just shits on him, dude. He's running better routes. He's catching the football. He's getting open. He's doing everything. But guess what? He's not the fastest guy. He's not the tallest guy. He's not the strongest guy. But he's making do with what he's got. And if he is outperforming a guy like Josh Doctson put the man on the football field. I don't know what else to say, dude.
Up the seam inside Broncos territory, a pickup of 32. So here's Justin Hopkins recovering from that partially torn hip muscle that he sustained in mid-October. Return from IR and on here as he converts a 26-yard chip shot.
Using the play action will suit the offense well.
One play call. This is Anderson showing the burst. All the way out to the 35-yard line.
Really, Demaryius Thomas, who is lined up in the slot right here, is his sure reliable weapon in the pass game.
Only 4 healthy wide receivers. Up, Osweiler, football is loose. Washington has it. Zach Vigil on the recovery.
Man, Zach Vigil is really making a name for himself. I'm not going to sit here and say this defense is, amazing, but this defense has gotten us by, and they're pretty much led by Zach Vigil. Or, I don't know, I guess Martrell Spate was in this game too, and I think Martrell Spate might be the one calling plays, because I know he can do it. I don't know if Zach Vigil's calling plays, but, man, Zach Vigil has, for the limits that he has as a player, he is trying his ass off. This dude wants to make a team. And also Ryan Kerrigan and people, Matt Ioannidis, everyone getting pressure on the quarterback here. Like I said, this defense has actually really helped us when our offense has been slowing down this year. So you have to give, hats off to them, man. The defense is trying, even though they have all the injuries.
And disaster for Denver.
Here, the last 2 weeks have been able to turn it around again.
Could be the final play before the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 13 over the middle. It's caught. Jamison Crowder for the Washington touchdown.
Man, that move that Jamison Crowder just put on those guys, I'm sure he sat there and watched a lot of Jordan Reed tape, because that route is the same exact route Jordan Reed always runs. And he did it just as good, man. It worked.
Caught up around the league, week 16 on the Verizon halftime report. 2nd and 9. Osweiler to his check down. This is Booker eluding tacklers. What a maneuver by Booker in the open field. And mark off the yardage in Denver's favor nonetheless. 1st and 10. Osweiler from the gun, hit on the release. That pass is intercepted. DJ Swearinger making a play for Washington.
Yeah, man, that interception's big, and I like to come up here and I like to talk about when I was right, when I foresee things and I call things out before it happens. And I mean, I've already admitted to this type of thing multiple times, and I was wrong about DJ Swearinger. When I wasn't upset that we got DJ Swearinger, but this is the same exact time where we were all coming to realization that we were getting rid of both Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson. And I was pretty pissed off at this time. And then I said, oh, we signed DJ Swearinger. And DJ Swearinger is a guy who I was originally extremely pissed that we didn't draft him a couple years back in the draft. I wanted DJ Swearinger in the draft. And we ended up drafting 2 other safeties, Bakari Rambo and Philip Thomas. And those guys turned out to, I don't even think they're in the league anymore. And DJ Swearinger didn't really do a whole lot in his first couple of years, but then, when he was on the Cardinals and was playing around some other good talent, he played pretty well. But I was just always afraid that he was going to come in here and become the Brandon Merriweather 2.0, basically getting all these penalties and stuff like that. And if you look in our last game where, we basically, it's at the end of the game and he rips his helmet off and he's all emotional and everything. That's what I was worried about, but he's controlled his emotions pretty well, at least when it comes to getting penalties and things. That's what I was worried about. But man, what would this defense be without DJ Swearinger?
Here come the Skins on the blitz. They pick it up, and that pass is caught over the middle. It's Jordan Taylor. All the way down to the 30, but that clock is moving. 27 seconds and counting. Well, they're inside of McManus's range here. 3rd and 10. Osweiler's pass near side is caught. That's Isaiah McKenzie. McKenzie, though, not getting out of bounds. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to stop this clock.
Can't spike it. Fourth
Huge
down.
mistake by McKenzie, and that will bring us to halftime.
Man, that's just a sign of a bad football team, to be honest with you.
It's Grant in motion. Here come the Broncos. Cousins steps up, and Hayes, Grant, plenty of real estate in front of him. Finally tackled at the Denver.
There's just so much to say about Ryan Grant. He helps his quarterback. He comes back to the football to catch it. He runs. When he caught the ball, did you see him dancing around? Did you see him do Vernon Davis type of stuff to just try to dance and avoid hits and figure out what's the longest pass to the end zone without as much contact? No, Ryan Grant gets the football. He turns and he puts his head down and he tries to get as many yards as he can straight to the end zone. I mean, I don't put him on the football field more.
20 and the 6th of his career. Skins 3 of 8 on third downs. Cousins here on 3rd and 9. Off the seam over the middle. It's caught. Down to the 10-yard line.
This is another guy I want to see more of, Brian Quick. I know I just said I wanted Ryan Grant on the football field more, but we only got one game left. Let's see what Brian Quick can do. We also need to keep forcing the ball to Josh Doctson. I felt like we were forcing the ball to Josh Doctson for most of this game, and I'm one of the people who said I wanted to see it. I wanted to see what Josh Doctson can do, so I wanted to kind of force the ball to him, or throw the ball up to him sometimes and see what he can do. And so far, it's kind of been a little depressing.
This will be enough for a Washington first down. That's Brian Quick. Cousins, all day to throw, going end zone, and he is intercepted by Will Parks.
So that was probably like the first or second worst interception Kirk Cousins has had all year. That's his 9th interception, and I think he's got 25-26 touchdowns right now. But just before the clip before that, like I said, you could tell we were trying to force the ball to Josh Doctson. We were trying to see what he can do with the football, and it came back to bite us right there. And like I said, just one of the worst interceptions I've seen Kirk Cousins throw all year. It just seemed like he wasn't really even trying, and we had out routes that he could have tried to throw the ball to, but he just stared down Josh Doctson in triple coverage. Just like one of the worst interceptions I've seen him throw. It just looked lackadaisical. It looked like he tried to force the ball to Josh Doctson, and I don't know if he was told. For all I know, Jay Gruden could have said, "Hey, when I call this play, you better throw the ball to Josh Doctson." I don't know. I don't know what happened, but he looked like he had it predetermined in his head. I'm going to give Josh Doctson a chance and just throw this football up to him when we had two separate out routes that might not have gotten us a touchdown or something, but were obviously the better option. So, terrible play.
So Osweiler and company begin from their own 20. After the pick by Parks. Osweiler is buried, and guess who? It's Ryan Kerrigan again. He has been a monster. Starting.
Man, Ryan Kerrigan had another great game, man. I saw the Redskins or whatever, they gave him like the MVP of the game, the Facebook page, and my God, he had a good day. And I mean, that's yet again, it's another game that he should have a good game playing against this lackluster Denver offense. So, I mean, well deserved, but just wish we could see these sacks earlier in the season.
In place of Justin Simmons, who they had to shut down a couple of weeks ago with that ankle injury. Making a huge defensive play for the Broncos. That pass is caught. That's Bibbs out of the backfield. First down and more for the former Broncos.
I still like what I see out of Capri Bibbs. He had like one drop in this game, but I just like the change of pay. Like we have P. Ryan, who's just gonna, try to run people over. But I like this faster. We do so much. We're set up to do so many things with running backs out of the backfield. But when those running backs aren't fast or shifty like Capri Bibbs is, it just doesn't work. And that's why I like Capri Bibbs so much. he just looks like he's in shape. He looks like he's been, waiting for this opportunity. All the others, other running backs that we've had, like Marshall and all those other guys, that just weren't impressive. Capri Bibbs, out of all the extra backup guys that we've gotten, he's most definitely the best one we've got so far.
Forced out of bounds by Talib and Brandon Marshall by Washington to their practice squad, and here he is facing his old team. And only his second game with the Skins. Cousins throwing a dart. That's Duxon. Inside the Denver 30, it'll be a 1st and 10. Roby has really started to come into his own. 4th-year player, former first-round pick out of Ohio State. Had his 17th pass defensed earlier. Ties the most by a Bronco defender in the last 10 years. The league leader in tackles entering week 16. On 2nd and 12, Osweiler is sacked again. It's Kerrigan. Third.
Great game by Ryan Kerrigan, gotta say it again.
Time they've gotten Osweiler. And of course, Rob Kelly, whom we just mentioned. On 2nd and 6, Cousins taking a shot. Duxon is wide open and strolls into the end zone. 48 yards from Cousins.
All right, man. You guys know I'm one of the biggest Kirk Cousins fans there is out there, but this play really pisses me off, man. It really does. I love Kirk Cousins and I love his character, and as much as I come up here and I say good things about him, I gotta say, I can't dismiss this. If that was, we all know, if that was Jamison Crowder or Ryan Grant that just caught that 50-yard touchdown, would Kirk Cousins have not ran all the way down the field and celebrated in the end zone? So, it being Josh Doxson, and you saw the look on his face, he just was like, okay, whatever, and walked over to the sideline, and he didn't go and celebrate that touchdown, which put us up 19-3 in the 4th quarter, which, almost solidifies us a win here, just by seeing the way that the Denver offense has been working. Like, that is a big part of this game. And when Kirk Cousins just walks off nonchalant to the sideline without going and celebrating with Josh Doxson, there's got to be something there. And as much as I'm pissed off at Josh Doxson this year, and as much as I think he's underachieved and dropped so many passes and just might not be the guy that Kirk Cousins wants to work with, and that's the guy that he has to work with, you celebrate a touchdown like that. You don't act that way. You don't go off to the sideline and be like, oh, whatever. No, man. We've seen you run down the field and celebrate before. So that had me a little bit upset when I saw that and how he acted after that play. I don't know. Maybe he could have been happy on the sideline. I don't know. But from what I saw, I can't sit here and just dismiss that.
As Grant comes over in motion, they don't communicate properly, and they completely drop Josh Doxson as he runs right past the cornerbacks en route to an easy has gone on. You can see that they really miss Emmanuel Sanders and Cody Latimer. They just haven't been able to get anything going with their wide receivers.
Osweiler is sacked again. Number 4 for this Washington defense.
Yep, Preston Smith got him one. I don't know how many sacks he has on the season, but I'm guessing it's probably under 5 or something. And yet again, coming here at the end of the season when it doesn't even kind of matter. Yeah.
Saj takes his sleep very seriously. He is someone who is so meticulous with his mental and physical preparation. As you see, the football came loose. Well, let's see what the officials determine here. Was Pirine down by contact? No signal yet. Football appeared to come out clearly before his knee hit the ground. It was Doma top.
So, as you guys know, I was never really extremely high on Pirine. I did, especially at the beginning of the season. I just thought we had better talent at the running back position. I most definitely would have rather seen Mac Brown get more touches than Pirine at the beginning of the season. But then when P. Ryan became our only option, I think he's been playing pretty well, and I think he's been, coming into his role a little bit better than I expected. And I was somewhat wrong about the guy, but he's still not. He's just not the guy that we're looking for to be a starter. In my opinion, I think we should have gone after some other guys. Even free agents are like, it blows my mind that the Eagles gave up, like, I don't know, I forget what they gave up, a second-round pick or something to get Jay Ajayi, and Jay Ajayi wouldn't be my number one on the list of guys to get during last offseason or during this season or with the trade or whatever. He wouldn't be number one on my list, but seeing that we don't have Rob Kelly and we have all these injuries at running back, I just don't understand how Philadelphia got away with getting Jay Ajayi and we didn't even contemplate. We were like, nah, we're good on that. We're good. No, are we really good? Are we really good on getting someone in here like Jay Ajayi? I just don't understand it, man. And like I said, P. Ryan's changing my mind a little bit, but he just seems, he needs a spark. There needs to be something that just, next year he's got to just show up and blow our socks off, or I'm just going to, he's just another guy. He's another guy that we can bring in on third down situations or something. I don't know. He's not the explosive running back that I'm looking for, that this team needs. And another thing, granted, they said multiple times in this football game that Denver has the number one defense in the league. Now, I don't understand. I would think that the Jaguars had the number one defense, but I don't know. Regardless, Denver does have a very good defense. It's probably at least top five. If not number one, like they were saying. But, give them some credit. Look how many guys are swarming around the football here. And look how far away our guys are. Our guys need to hustle. When you see a guy getting tackled by 5 different people, like, you need to back this man up. Why are you 5 yards, maybe, I don't know, maybe not 5 yards, but why are you that far away, man? Like, good teams swarm to the ball. It doesn't matter if you're not playing defense, even offense, swarm to the ball. Be reassurance that if the ball's knocked out, you're going to get it or something, man. So, like I said, I'm not thrilled about P. Ryan. I think he has been improving, and this is a good defense, so it is what it is.
Miller able to strip it for the Broncos.
Yeah, I think it was actually Von Miller is the one that had his right hand on the football. What a play by Von Miller.
His victory that they scored last week in Pittsburgh, albeit in a controversial finish. Osweiler's pass complete over the middle. Booker, football comes loose, and now they say incomplete.
Possessed the ball and took at least 3 steps. Therefore, it was a complete catch. He fumbled the ball. It was recovered by Washington at the 50-yard line.
So when I saw that play happen, and I saw them immediately rule it an incomplete pass, I was like, here we go again with this refereeing this year, man. I thought they were going to take that away from us. Great play by DeShazer Everett. And yet again, this is another guy that I was high on. I thought DeShazer Everett, he wasn't going to be, fantastic, but I thought he was going to be better than average this year. And we really didn't see much out of him all year. He was injured at times, wasn't on the football field. But that right there, that last play, that's the type of plays, hard-nosed football that I thought DeShazer Everett is about, and I thought he was going to bring to the football team. And yet again, another guy who's now doing it, but in a time where we're already, 7-8 now or whatever, like, why not do it earlier in the season, It's just so many what ifs this season.
Game as it comes, but in this league, you just can't take anything for granted.
On 3rd and 6, Cousins off balance throw, has his man. It's Vernon Davis for the Redskins touch.
How do we not pay this man? How do we not pay that quarterback? How do we not pay a quarterback that makes those throws? How many other quarterbacks around the NFL are doing that? Let's watch that again.
Each game as it comes, but in this league, you just can't take anything for granted.
On 3rd and 6, Cousins off balance throw, has his man.
This man just threw the ball roughly just under 40 yards with a flick of the wrist, pressure in his face, and threw it perfect. I mean, who's doing that, man? I don't see other quarterbacks doing that. And then when you do see quarterbacks doing it, they get roughed up, and then they don't play. Then they get hurt. They get injured. They don't stick around.
Vernon Davis for the Redskins touchdown. A brilliant pass by Cousins.
He's in the backfield, and Davis just runs right by him down the field in a beautiful pass under pressure by Cousins. Physical game last week, especially against the run against the Arizona Cardinals.
Osweiler's going to use his legs. He'll run for the first down, and he's got that and more. Now close to midfield.
Eli Manning. You know, there could be a lot of big-name quarterbacks out on the market at the same time in the offseason.
3rd and 10, nicely thrown by Osweiler right up the seam to C.J. Anderson. Anderson busting it in for the Denver touchdown. Osweiler from the gun has Anderson wide open as they convert for 2 points. Brandon McManus. Here's the onside kick to the far side of the field. It's fielded easily.
And that's why Niles Paul is the captain of special teams.
By the Redskins, that's their tight end, Niles Paul.
All right, so that's it for the highlights. Before I jump into some more stuff about the football game, if you look on the Redskins Facebook page, with his with his first touchdown pass, so Kirk Cousins has over 25 touchdown passes this season. Kirk Cousins became the first quarterback in Redskins history to record 3 25 touchdown seasons. And then someone commented on there and said, right now, Kirk Cousins is 8 in passer rating all time in the NFL. They said Joe Montana is number 13 in that category. Kirk Cousins is 6 all-time in yards per game in NFL history. He's 3rd all-time in completion percentage, and he did all of that in 3 seasons. So we have to just sit here and keep beating a dead horse that it still blows my mind that people are cool with this dude leaving, man. I don't understand it. But nonetheless, let's move on. Zach Vigil had a good game yet again. That guy looks like he wants to make the team next year, and I like Zach Vigil's body type, which by that I mean how he's built. I think he's good versus the run, and he's not as slow or too bulky like Marchell Spate is versus the pass. I mean, I like Marchell Spate, but he's most definitely really just a run stopper. He's smart, but he's not what Zach Vigil is in the passing game. And Capri Bibbs is still, maybe this guy should be on, maybe he should be on the practice squad or something next year. If not, starting, unless we don't do anything about our running back position. I think Kirk Cousins had a great day. Well, not great. He had a good one because of the interception in the red zone. But if we would have lost, that would have been some shit. But Ryan Grant awesome performance. Last game I dubbed the Anthony Lanier game. This game could be called the Ryan Grant game if you're asking me. I'm really worried about Josh Doxson. The dude looks like he doesn't want to get hit. The dude looks like he doesn't want to go up and catch the football and contest for the football, and that's what we drafted him for, and we just haven't seen it. What else? I think the defense, as bad as this offense, not bad, but much slower this offense has been since we're, rather than what we're used to them being the past couple years, the defense has stepped up at times. They did give up like almost 100 yards rushing in the first half, though. So I think once they adjusted to that and made them try to throw the ball, I think that's where we turned the game around. We started sending some blitzes, and not even that. We just started getting pressure with just 4, with the sacks with Ryan Kerrigan and stuff like that. So this defense has, you got to be proud of them, man. They fight, even though they're super injured. And now the Cowboys, they look like they might end their season 8-8, and we might end our season 8-8. And I think that's a good thing, seeing that the Cowboys swept us this year. And just honestly, it's kind of remarkable that with the amount of injuries that we've had this year, we also lost Ziggy Hood. I think in this game he broke his arm. With the amount of injuries that this team has seen this year, us going 8-8 is actually kind of remarkable, dude. If we do it, if we beat the Giants next week, which the Giants, I don't think they scored any points last week. So, us going 8-8, looking back at the season, and that's what we're gonna have to start doing. Talent evaluation, looking at who wants to make the football team, find the Anthony Laniers, the Zach Vigils, people like that. That's what we're gonna have to start doing now. And also, what should we do to fill needs? And, who's going to be here next year, who's not? And just trying to do the best we can with evaluation when half of our team is injured, and the brutal schedule we had at the, first half of the schedule. And then even after the first half of the schedule, where we thought that was going to be the most brutal part, then we have to play the Chargers, who start coming on, and some of these teams start getting, all the teams that we thought were bad start getting a little bit better at the end of the season. So, we've had a rough schedule, man. And like I said, yet again, if we end up 8-8, it's going to be remarkable. And yes, I want to go 8-8. We better go 8-8 versus a bad Giants team. And I know there's a lot of people out there say, "Oh, we should lose as many games as we can now to get better draft picks." But have you watched the Redskins? What are we going to do with those good draft picks that we get? We're going to get another Josh Doxson? We're going to waste our first-round pick on something? I mean, I like Brandon Scherf. Brandon Scherf's probably the best first-round pick we've had in a long time, dude. Jonathan Allen is good, but he's injured, Like, the guy was good when we had him. Hopefully he comes back and he plays very well for us next year and, improves, but a first-round pick that played half the season, So sometimes that's how it goes, but we can't keep getting these first-round picks wrong. And, so that's pretty much all I got for this. Because of the holiday, also, by the way, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody. I kind of forgot to say that. But because of the holiday, I like making videos right after the game happens because I have things fresh in my memory and I have more to talk about. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in this game that I wanted to talk about that I forgot because I've had to wait a couple days now to make this video. But nonetheless, I'll see you guys after the Giants game. Thanks for watching. Hail to the Redskins. See you in the next one. Peace.